Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar, Search and Prepare for Internships. I am so happy to see you all here gathered with me to discuss this topic. My name is Angie Carrillo Humphreys, and I'm a career counselor at the Career Development Center here at Cal State Long Beach. So let's go ahead and get started. If any of you are here for the purpose of a class assignment, or you need to get some attention verification, you can email me at that email address. You might want to capture a picture of it so that you can follow up with me. When you send me your email, make sure that you include in the subject line the words webinar class assignment. In your message, include your name and ID number, your professor's name and class number, and your webinar notes. Make sure you do not just take screenshots and use them as your notes. So be sure to take notes as we go throughout today's presentation. And then, once I receive your email, I will follow up with the attendance verification. Because we are recording this webinar, please let me know you got the message. I'm not showing any indication that it is being recorded. If you did not get the message, please let me know. For any questions that you have, because we are recording this session, I would ask you to save your questions until the end of the presentation, when we will stop the recording. All right, so as we begin to think about the topic of looking for jobs and internships, I know a lot of students, feel a certain way about it, right? Some people are really excited about beginning this search, right? To begin to explore opportunities that might be related to their major or career interest. Yet other students might feel very overwhelmed, right? Nervous about the process. What are some other feelings? They feel overwhelmed, because it seems like a lot of work to do. And oftentimes, of course, confused. You just don't know where to begin. But I hope that as a result of today's webinar, you will feel less of those negative feelings and more of the positive feelings, like excited and motivated to get started. That's my goal for today, is to make sure that I clarify the process, let you know where to find opportunities and how to do that. So the big question oftentimes is, why do I need to look for an internship? Or I might add, any career or major related type of experience. It could be a job or it could be a volunteer. Now, the opportunity of getting these kinds of experience is because it allows you to get to know other people in the professional world of your field of interest, right, or career interest. It allows you to develop skills, what we call transferable skills, skills that you can obtain in school, in work, in life. And these are skills that relate to every kind of work setting. The benefit of also doing an internship or a experience in a career related area is that it allows you to network with other professionals. So you'll be surrounded with other people who are already in the field that you have an interest with, and you'll want to build those connections and build those relationships so that they can eventually even become a source of mentorship or advice and guidance. It definitely allows you to explore the career field and industry. And that's a great way for you to either confirm that you're moving in the right direction, or to give you a glimpse into the fact that maybe that's not exactly what you want to do. All of this is going to be real world experience for you, and know that if it didn't confirm your area of interest, it's okay. It gives you just another opportunity to explore another area as well. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm a career counselor at the Career Development Center. And one of the things that I really want to encourage you to do is get connected with all of our services and information. We have an amazing website that is filled with information that will guide you in terms of your career development, exploration, searching for jobs and internships. This is unfortunately on this slide the incorrect web address. It was just updated and changed. So I would suggest that you just do a Google search for the Career Development Center, CSULB, and you will be able to find our webpage with a ton of information, including sample resumes and cover letters and sample interview questions as well. One of the things that we coordinate here at the Career Center is we put on different events such as job fairs. And you can see for the spring, we hosted, let's see, that's four, right? For a total of 4 events in jobs and internships. This semester, in the fall semester, we usually have around 2 job fairs. More specifically, in September, we do host an engineering, science, and technology job fair, typically in the month of September, and then a general job fair in the month of October. So if you missed any of these job fairs that we've hosted this semester, know that there's going to be more opportunities in the fall as well. Our next upcoming internship will be the Educator's Job and Internship Fair, scheduled for Friday, April 28th from 12 to 4 p.m. This, I believe, I don't have a location, will be indoors, which will be at the University Student Union in their ballroom. So keep an eye open for that. You'll find this information also on CareerLINK. And so that's a great opportunity for any of you interested in the field of education or working with educational related types of institutions. So I invite you to do that. As I mentioned earlier, when it comes to looking for internships, it's just a great place to explore and get really hands-on experiences. And so some of you, if you're a freshman or sophomore, even a junior sometimes, is really not clear about what they're interested in, what they imagine themselves doing in the future. So one of the things that's important to do is do a personnel assessment of yourself. And so when you do that, it's really important to think about your abilities. What are your abilities? What does that mean? So basically, abilities refer to those things that you are kind of a natural at, you were born with and gifted with. Some people are just natural organizers. No one taught them how to do that, but they do that very well. And it's an important part of their life as well. So the things that you do well, some people relate well with children, right? Some people are just really good at math. And so pay attention to those natural abilities that are just relevant to you. You also want to think about what are your skills. Skills refer to those those skills that you learn and gain. It could be through life, like even leadership. If you're the oldest member of your family, more than likely you had to be in charge of your siblings or other people in your family. And that can demonstrate leadership skills. There are other skills that you might learn in school, like your ability to manage your time, right? To be able to do all of your schoolwork and being able to turn it in on time. And even in college, if you're involved with school projects, that demonstrates teamwork and leadership, planning, and organizational skills. So think about what skills have you learned or gained or just naturally have. So you want to identify those. And then think about how your abilities and your skills might fit into your area of interest or area that you wish to explore to determine, are your skills and abilities important to that particular career field and necessary to excel in. I do want you to capture this slide because it has some good information on free assessment tools that you can use on the internet. So one is careeronestop.org. The second one is mynextmove.org. Again, you can go ahead. It has some career information. So if you're not sure what an actuary does, you can look up that career and learn more about what you need, what skills you need for that career, what kind of education you need. You can find information on jobs. And you can also take some career assessments. So these are like little questionnaires to some degree that allow you to identify your areas of interest. So I highly recommend those. At the Career Development Center, we also have some career assessment tools that you can take by meeting with a career counselor, such as myself. We are available and you can schedule an appointment with us through Beach Connect. You just select the service as career counseling. Some of the tools that we have available are, we do the Strong Interest Inventory. The second one is the Myers-Briggs Personality Assessment, or MBTI. And then thirdly, we do something called the Strengths Quest as well. So I invite you to do that just to get some greater understanding of where your areas of interest fall, and also how your personality fits into your into your career choice as well. Another really good source of information, of course, this is the typical question, right, that everyone will ask you when you're in college, after they get to know what your name is, right? The second question is, well, what are you majoring in and what do you plan to do with that major? And again, we have some really good information on our website. Again, ignore that old email address, just Google Career Development Center, CSULB. All right, and on our website, you'll find some really good documents that will give you more detailed information on the career options that you have with any particular major. In this case, I've identified the finance major, and you'll see on the left-hand side how it identifies different career areas and some very specific titles that you can even use and research, on Google and learn more about what that means. What is an investor relations type of career? You can use those also as keywords as you begin to look for jobs and internships. You'll notice in the middle column, we have a list of types of employers that are likely to hire a person with a finance major as well. And then on the right hand gives you some strategies or tips on how to get into that field. I do want you to capture this slide. Go ahead and take a screenshot or a picture, right? Because this will give you the directions on how to find that document. This document is really embedded into our web pages. So just again, Google Career Development Center, CSULB, follow the instructions here, and it'll take you to another site, right? Which is called, What Can I Do with This Major? Where you will find a document such as the one I've just shown you. The majors are listed towards the bottom or mid part of the page, and you'll find them alphabetized, and you can also download the document and save it as a PDF. Very useful document that will give you an idea of all the different types of possibilities, in terms of your major. One of the tools I want to talk about to you is CareerLINK, and I will also include information on CareerShift, which are two tools to access jobs and internships. So most importantly, what you want to do to be able to access CareerLINK is you will go to your single sign-on. You will look for CareerLINK, you'll see highlighted in red, and click on that. Next, it'll take you to the CareerLINK web page. You'll notice on the bottom right-hand corner, highlighted in blue, there is a tab that says Add a Resume. So we definitely want to make sure that you get started with your resume. We have webinars on how to create a resume. We have information on our Career Development Center website with sample resumes that you can use as a guide. Plus, I'll talk a little bit more later. We have drop-in services so that you can have your resume reviewed, and you can also do that by appointment. So that's really the first document we want you to work on so that you can begin to apply for these jobs and internships. All right, and like I mentioned, I'm also going to show you CareerShift, which is another tool that we pay for so that you have access to it. And it does list more opportunities and internships, both domestically or nationally and internationally. We're going to start off by clicking at the top of the page here where it says jobs highlighted in red. That's the first thing you will want to do. And then you'll notice on the left-hand side highlighted in red is a keyword search box. So there you can type in any keyword related to your career interest. In this case, I selected the marketing intern. You'll notice I put it in quotation marks so that it searches for any content on this site, but includes those two terms together. You'll notice when you begin your keyword search, there will be like a question mark or a little dot on the right-hand side that gives you tips on how to do a more effective search. You'll notice I selected a location. In this case, it was Long Beach, California. And then I chose a mile radius. I usually make it kind of wider to be able to show more opportunities. If you limit it to 10 miles, you may show up with nothing. So please, experiment, play around with the geographical distance. And then once you've created that setting, you can click on search. And it'll provide you with a list of opportunities. You'll see highlighted in blue down below. It'll list the opportunities that were relevant to that particular search. You'll notice in the top right-hand part of the page, it says create a job alert. I highlighted in green. If you like the settings that you created there, you can create that job alert, just click on it and it'll save those settings for you so you don't have to reset them every time you come to this page. It'll automatically update you on a weekly basis. All right, another way to search for opportunities is to select the filters down below. You'll be able to identify the position type here. It'll open up the list of options and it does continue further below. And then in this case, for example, you might select internship, paid and or unpaid. We kind of separated the two. So if paid is what you need, then you can search for those paid positions only. And then of course, click on the apply button so it will start your search. The next thing you'll want to move on, you'll notice I skipped the industry because that's kind of a limited search. If you click on the job function, it'll allow you to identify different kinds of career fields. In this case, you'll see that I selected the marketing sales right here, and then I clicked on apply to search for these opportunities. And again, remember, you can create a job alert to not have to reset those settings. Next, as you see, we have a list of job opportunities, located in different areas, and in different types of industries. And so once you click on one of those job titles, it'll take you to this next page, which states the job title and the type of position it is. In this case, they have a full-time and an internship, both paid opportunities. You'll notice further down below, it has the desired class level, so you can see that they are willing to hire anyone who's from a freshman to a senior. So please, if any of you are freshmen and sophomores, it's never too early to land an internship, okay? So start looking as soon as possible. You don't have to wait until you're a junior. Sometimes the only exception is sometimes for engineering majors. They oftentimes want you to start applying for internships once you've started some engineering courses. But do keep your options, open. And even if you're an engineering student, but you want to work in an engineering firm, you can start looking for some kind of maybe office type position in an engineering firm, for example. So it'll help you get started in terms of your networking and getting to know people. And hopefully by the time you're a junior, you'll be able to land some type of internship, even with that organization. You'll notice some of the desired skills right over here. It's really important when you look at these job descriptions to review the details, highlight the skills, knowledge, or experience they want you to have. And if you have that experience or skills, make sure it's reflected on your resume. That's what we call tailoring your resume to the job. You want to create the best fit between yourself and your qualifications. So please review those details. You'll notice on the right-hand side, we have the important dates, and it includes the application deadline. So make sure you apply in advance of that deadline. And then you'll notice an apply button. Sometimes you have to scroll down to the page to read all the details as far as the position description is concerned. And then you'll move up to the top and you'll find the apply button. If you click on the apply button, it'll allow you to select a resume that you've uploaded into our system and send it directly to those employers. So this is just kind of an example of what I've mentioned is, the ideal candidate will have these particular skills, you can see the type of major they're looking for. It's anywhere from marketing to communications, to public relations and other related fields. So that's a wide range of possible majors. And keep in mind that a lot of employers sometimes, are less concerned about your major and more concerned about your skills, right? They might just have a curiosity or want to hire someone who has a curiosity about their career field or type of company or organization. Other things that I want to highlight here also is to keep in mind, I know a lot of students sometimes will read through these job descriptions and immediately say, wow, I don't fit 100% of these qualifications and therefore choose not to apply. However, I recommend that if you meet at least 65% of the qualifications, you should consider applying. Take a chance. You never know what the application pool looks like. You could be the most qualified. And some other key things that I want you to pay attention to is, let's see. Yeah, how do I do that? Okay, good. All right. So is to pay attention to these words right here. It says experience with Canva is a plus. Okay. That plus means it's a bonus. If you have it, that's awesome. That's something extra that we're not requiring, right? But it would be great for you to have. So don't worry about those, is it a plus, right? Or just pay attention to, is it something that is required for the position? If it's required and you don't have that skill or knowledge or experience, then go ahead and maybe consider not applying. But, don't worry about, not taking a chance. I mean, I would highly recommend that you take a chance versus not be considered at all because you did not apply. All right. All right. The next piece of information includes location. So it'll give you the city and location. Some businesses have various locations where you can work. It'll talk about the job function and again, the desired majors that they're looking for. Also, further down below, it will identify the type of salary, right? And the salary basically, whether, how much you're going to get paid for that position. And you'll notice the documents that are required. Not every employer will require a cover letter. Some do. So if you do have to create one, again, we have sample cover letters also on the Career Development Center website that you can use as an example to draft yours. A cover letter is just basically an opportunity I describe as to create a persuasive paragraph that states why you're qualified for that job in terms of your knowledge, skills, passion, interest. So it has a little bit more personality versus just facts that are stated on a resume. But most employers also just ask for a resume. So just follow the employer's instructions in terms of the application process. All right, next I want to demonstrate. So I just showed you how to use CareerLink. I want to highlight a few of the resources. You'll notice at the top right-hand column highlighted in red, it says resources. If you click on resources, it's going to open up this page and you'll see in the middle column under the Career Development Center section highlighted in purple is the link to our drop-in advising. And that's where you can have your resume and cover letter reviewed by one of our peer advisors. We are available both in person and virtually. And they are available Monday through Friday from 12 to 3 p.m. Okay, and I believe Tuesdays, we have some hours as well, though I don't see them listed here. But you could contact us for more information or visit our website as well. You can also make an appointment, like I said, because the drop-in is kind of a first come, first serve basis. So you might be waiting some time before you get seen. But otherwise, if you have a really tight schedule, I would recommend that you just use Beach Connect and try to schedule with a career counselor, though our appointments get booked quickly as well. All right, the next thing I want to share is if you look at the same page, there's a section called Online Tools. And what I'm going to do today is talk a little bit about CareerShift as well. So this is a tool that we pay for, the Career Development Center pays for, so that you have access to it. And it includes a lot more opportunities as well. So I encourage you to use this tool also. Again, there's not just one place to look for jobs and internships. You want to look at as many places as possible to be able to find the opportunity you're looking for. And what is unique about CareerShift is that, let's see, you'll notice on the far left-hand side with the little yellow arrow pointing downward, it reminds us of the importance of being organized in your search. So keep in mind that, you're looking for one internship, but you may be applying for 25 possibilities, right? And sometimes employers, once you apply, it may take anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 weeks before they get back to you. So in the meantime, you've applied for 25 positions. More than likely, you're not going to be able to physically remember every position that you've applied for and every company you've applied with. So I highly recommend, just like this site does, is to create file folders that are organized by company name. Again, with CareerShift, you can create these file folders and place them on this site, or you can just do it on your computer as well. So organize them by company name. And then in each one of those file folders, you will be including the version of the resume that you sent them, a copy of that job description, okay? Every job description might be a little bit different. So make sure you save or make a PDF of the web page that includes that job description, or copy the text and put it into a Word document, save it and put it into your company file folder so that you can refer back to it when they do call you maybe 6 weeks later and invite you for an interview. Then you can go back to your file folder, review the job description, and be better qualified, better prepared for the interview. Okay, so organization is really key so that you can keep track of all those opportunities, not miss out on an opportunity to interview or not be prepared for the right position. The next thing I want to highlight is the second column, highlighted in gray with the green arrow pointing downward. Is called the dashboard. I do want to mention the button down below, highlighted in gold. It's the help button. If you click on the help button, it will open up a link that says tutorials. When you click on that, it'll show you a number of videos that will explain how to use CareerShift. So I'm going to share a little bit about how to use it, but you can watch these little videos and learn a lot more about other possibilities that you can do through this site. And there's also some amazing articles as well. Also, so next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to that list under the dashboard. I'm going to click on jobs, and then I'm going to click on search, and it'll open up this page that you see. And the first thing we do is we again need to enter, some keywords. In this case, I entered the marketing as a term to use. And once you do that, just below the marketing, it says search by area, and you'll notice this is automatically set to on. So it allows you to select the state, the location, and the mile radius in which you wish to work so that you can begin your search. All right, now the other thing I want to mention is there's another setting that you can create. If we look back in the blue section of this page, there's the advanced search option. You'll want to click that on if you're looking specifically for internships. If you do not, you might see 3,000 jobs that will include full-time, internships, part-time, and every possibility. When you click on the advanced search, it opens up the menu down below. And this is where you can select it. If you click on the little downward arrow, it'll give you different options. And this is where you can select the internship option if you're only looking for internships. Once we do that, you see that it pulled up about 179 opportunities. If you like the settings that you created, you can click on the Save Search, similar to CareerLINK, so that you don't have to reset these settings. And then you'll notice it'll open up a list of all the different career opportunities that they have available for interns. Something unique about this page also, you'll notice here, there's an option to find contacts. Now this site pulls jobs from Indeed.com and many other public websites. So, any people who are affiliated with this company will be found on this page. And what's unique and useful about that information is that it allows you to get to know people from that organization. It'll give you email, phone number, and or how to search them up on LinkedIn as well. So you can link up with them through LinkedIn. And that's a good tool for you to maybe explore setting up an informational interview to maybe learn or interview them about their career. And it's just a great way to get advice also on your career interest, how to get experience in that particular field. Okay, and this is an example of the information you might see, right? It's got their name, their contact information, their titles, and other information. So a good way to build your network or community of people in your career interest. And as I mentioned, some people, might get organized differently. So if you like to use Excel and you want to keep track of all of the contact that you've made with each employer, you can create an Excel sheet to keep track of the progress that you're making, such as applying and submitting a resume and cover letter, scheduling an interview, maybe following up with thank you letters, or even their LinkedIn information so that you can continue to connect with them. So that's going to be very important. And as you prepare for these jobs and interviews, and even when you're preparing your resume and cover letter, I'll say, one of the biggest questions that I know a lot of students that I meet with will ask is, oftentimes they'll say, I just want to share information that the employers want to hear about, right? What is it that they want to hear or know about me? So it's really important to know that employers understand that for internships, you really don't need, direct related experience. They're looking for any kind of experience that you've had through part-time jobs, volunteer activities, or involvement in student organizations and activities. So they're more interested in the skills that you have learned and gained through all of those experiences. These on the left-hand column you'll see are the typical types of skills that employers want you to have, such as teamwork, problem solving, analytical and quantitative skills, communication skills, both verbal and written, the ability to take initiative, leadership, technical skills, flexible, adaptability, and a strong work ethic. So your homework is to take a look at the list of these skills, break it down, and identify some examples in your past experiences or current experience that relates to this particular skill. So for teamwork, think about a time when you were part of a team. What was that experience like? What did you have to do? What are some of the challenges you faced? How did you resolve those challenges? At some point in an interview, more than likely, they're going to ask you, tell me about a time when you were part of a team and someone on that team didn't do their part of the work. Right? And then you'll want to follow up with describing that situation that you were in and what it was that you did and what were the results that you achieved as a result of your participation in that process. So that's going to be your homework, is to come up with examples that demonstrate these skills. Other sites that I recommend that you also use, again, we don't know where every company is posting their opportunities. So it's important to start off with the Career Development Center website called CareerLINK, right? Use CareerShift as well. And these are other sites that I encourage you to also use. I always recommend internships.com because that site is completely focused only on internships as well. And there are jobs nationwide on that site. So make sure you capture this image and use it to check out other opportunities. You'll see if you're ever interested in government jobs, there's different levels of government from city, county, state to federal government opportunities. A great website that includes all of those sites is governmentjobs.com. USA Jobs is more specifically focused on federal government jobs that do require US citizenship, typically. And of course, for city and county jobs, you can do a Google search for whatever city you're in. So you could look up a city of Long Beach or county of Los Angeles or, Orange County, Riverside County, and find opportunities that they have posted there as well. And then there's companies that don't advertise anywhere more other than their company website. So if you're familiar with the kind of companies you want to work for, you may want to do a Google search for those types of companies in your area, visit their websites, and look at opportunities that they may have posted. If at the moment they don't have any opportunities, I would say continue on and use their contact us link and ask them whether or not they have internships available and who you should contact regarding those kinds of opportunities. Other ways to gain access to internships is through, student organizations. Oftentimes they do invite company representatives who will share information about their internships and jobs after graduation as well. And even faculty sometimes, maybe use their office hours to talk to them a little bit more, maybe about their background, right? Their career development. And also they might have connections. Let them know what you're interested in, and they might be able to connect you to other people that they know as well. So those are other ways to access more internships. As I mentioned earlier, some of the documents that most employers will request from you is primarily, first of all, would be is the resume. Okay, and again, we can provide you assistance with that, a cover letter. Some employers, when you do apply, if it's on an application or they ask for references, it's important for you to think of 2 or 3 people, up to 3 people, who can speak highly of your academic accomplishments and your work accomplishments, or what type of employee you are. So one tip that I have, I know we're not all in a job that we love, but it's really important to remember that if you're in that type of position, to always do the best work possible, right, in that position, because when you decide to apply for another job, that next employer will want to speak to your current supervisor or someone in your place of work, and they'll want to ask about you. They'll want to ask about what type of employee you are, whether you show up on time, whether you treat other people with respect. So remember to always, no matter what kind of job you hold, that you value it and you do the best work possible and always leave the best impression. In some career fields, so for example, in publishing and editing, some writing types of careers, they may want a writing sample, which could be maybe an essay that you did in one of your classes, or maybe you've already published some of your writing or research as well. Some employers may also ask for transcripts as well. Also, in some fields, you might want to create a portfolio that shows example of the work or projects that you've been involved with. We see that sometimes with engineering, computer science majors, and also teaching, the field of teaching. So you may want to work on a website, where you can include a link to that work on your resume so that they can review the work that you've done before or currently doing. And just another extra, right? You could always create a business card, that you can share with potential employers, if you're out and about, in between classes, standing at the grocery store, and you're having a conversation with someone that you just met, and all of a sudden they ask you about your major and your career interests, and maybe they have a great opportunity waiting for you, right? You can always share your small business card, especially when you don't have your resume on hand. So that's just a little extra that you could do to share your information with other potential employers. And then finally, again, I want to remind you to use the Career Development Center website. You'll notice with the section there that says students highlighted by the red arrow. It has, let me go back just a moment. You'll click on students and then it'll open up a menu and you'll see, I think it's the third column, it'll say resumes. And cover letters. And then you click on that, it'll show you some sample resumes and cover letters organized by colleges. So I encourage you to take a look at that if you're updating your resume and if you're just starting your resume for the first time. So take a look at that. Another wonderful tool that we have available at Cal State Long Beach is a program called Beach Nexus Mentoring Program. You can find that information on your single sign-on. And then this is a great way to be connected with a mentor. I've heard some very positive feedback from students who are participating in it, and therefore I'm recommending it for any of you who would like to connect with someone who can be there of support, who can answer questions that you might have, who can guide you through maybe your career development center and maybe connect you to other opportunities as well. So if you have time, take a look at it and consider joining as well. All right, one final reminder is if you are attending this webinar for the purpose of getting credit, then I just want to let you know that you can email me at that email address. Make sure in the subject line you include web class assignment, include the name and number of your, name and ID number, name of professor and class name, and your webinar notes. I do not want just screenshots of my slides. So make sure you send in those notes as an attachment. You can put them into the body of the message, whatever works best for you. And then I will follow up with you and send you a little message that states that you attended this particular webinar. And then to wrap up the webinar, I just want to share this particular quote. It says, opportunities are like sunrises. If you wait too long, you miss them, right? So my tip and advice for you is that even though you're not looking for an internship for this semester or for the summer, you want to start looking now for that fall internship. You always want to apply one semester before you want it. And you want to keep an eye open for any opportunities that are showing up. So I would say, just like we make time for social media, for our fun and entertainment, make sure you commit some time to looking at these websites, right? At least once a week, because I don't want you to miss out on an opportunity that would have been perfect for you, but the deadline just passed, right? Make sure you attend our events, our job fairs. We have information sessions where we have employers come onto campus to share information about their companies and opportunities with them. And then we have lots of other webinars that I encourage you to attend as well. So I thank you. And I appreciate you joining us today. I hope this information has helped you get started in your search. I hope it's motivating you and it's making you less stressed and more excited about this process.